Hello and welcome to an Everyday Canines video. In this episode, we're going to look at how to teach your dog to go to bed. Okay, send to bed. Send to bed's a fun trick to teach. It's a trick you get in both your Kennel Club Good Citizens Award and also in normal obedience, competitive obedience, you would build it up to be your send away cue. It's also a good game you can have. So for instance, you've got guests around and you want your dog to settle, you can teach them to go to bed. It's a game you can have when you want them to just chill out and you want them to be out of the way. Perhaps you've got something going on, just go to bed. So the way we teach it initially is we've obviously got a bed. And Lee's got a little bit of experience with this, but she hasn't done this particularly much. So she just has a little value for the bed. So what I would do to start with is I want her to think going to her bed is a good thing. So I'm going to put a treat in her bed. So she's going to go there. Okay, I'm going to toss it in. Nice. Good. So she's going there, but she's not getting in the bed. I really want her to get in the bed. So I'm going to go with her this time and I'm going to get her into the bed, and when she's in the bed she can have the treat. Good girl. See if you do that by yourself. Nearly. Good girl. She's obviously a little bit more experienced. You might have a dog that takes longer to get this. However, if you use a bed that they're familiar with, that they like, it shouldn't take that long. Okay. Nice. Good girl. She's offering a sit because that's a default behaviour. I'm not asking for a sit at the moment in time. Break. I'm just getting her to go in the bed. I'm just saying, yeah, that's whatever you do, go in the bed, that's fine. As long as you're getting all four paws in the bed, I'm happy with that. So we're going to do that for a bit. Good. Now, once she's starting to get confident as this, I would prefer that she doesn't leave the bed till I tell her to. So what I'm going to do, if I think she's going to suddenly break, I'm going to give her the cue before she does, so that I am preempting her moving, but I'm also giving a cue to that behaviour. Okay, break. To be fair, she wasn't going to move, but you know, if she was. Okay, go to your bed. Okay, what you doing? Yeah. And what I'm also doing is I'm not giving the treat so quickly. Oops. I'm holding off just a second. I'm also giving her multiple rewards for being in there, so she doesn't think one reward then out. Now, if I get her to do, so if I just, oh dear. I'm going to wait and see what she does. So I've made her do that by luring her out. But will she think to herself, oh, that's not what mum wants. I actually want to get all the paws in. Because this is another level to see if she's understanding the nature of the trick. What's she going to do? What's she going to do? Good girl. Well done. So there you have a little bit. That's something that I lured her out, but it could happen. She's done it by herself there. I didn't ask her to do that. What's she going to do? Swift, what's she going to do? Good girl. So I hadn't asked her to leave, and so I just withheld the reward and waited her to offer the behaviour again that I wanted. Break. She has got a break. She knows the word break means stop doing whatever you're doing. If I've put you in a sit, you can get up. Sparrow down. Good girl. So she knows that word already. Obviously, you might not have that word. You might not have used it before, but you can start introducing it here, and eventually the dog will understand. And when she says that word, could be okay, could be finish, then I can get out of the bed. If you use that consistently, that's a way of starting to build in that cue. Good girl. Okay. So, down, Sparrow. You're being ever so good, Sparrow. So now I've got her going into the bed, sitting in the bed, holding a position, and she's offering the behaviour to me. I want to see if she can do it from a bit more of a distance. Now, it's hard here because I haven't got a lot of space. If I could go outside, it's tipping it down, so I can't. But if I could, I would start building up a lot more distance. I think I can do this with Merlin. Oh, I don't know exactly. I did it in feet, but he can go at least 10 feet. Probably more than that I can send him to a bed, and I would like to build it up to say 10 meters or something, or more, as much as you can, really, as much as you can to get them to drive out to it. I mean, obviously in a send away, I'm not actually sure how big the distance is when you do a competitive send away in obedience. Someone may know and be able to tell me, but yeah, the more distance you can do, the better. But at this stage, I've only got a limited space, so we're just going to try what we do. So what I'm going to do is, Sparrow, can you go down? I'm going to get Swift, stay down. I'm going to get Swift back as far as I can. I'm going to hold her down. And I'm going to see if she'll just go, where'd you go? Ready? Where'd you go? Yeah! So she had enough value in that bed to go to the bed. She might not have done. She might have said, no, I don't get that. So then we would have gone back a stage, but she did get that. Can you stay down, please? Good girl, wait. So, did you get out before I said? Thank you. So that's good. Break. Nice. And obviously you can build that up and play. So eventually I want to have a cue for this. So my cue is going to be go to bed. Ready? Go to bed. What happened? Thank you, good girl. She doesn't know what go to bed means at the moment. She just knows that we've been playing that game, and so if I send her out there, I probably want her to go. You broke again before I said it. If I say that word, she knows I probably want her to go in that bed. So that's what we're basing this on. Break. Okay. Ready? Go to bed. Oh dear. So you see, we're getting little bits of experimentation because she's like, I'm not really sure. And you've added in this bit of distance. And now I'm like, I don't get it. Break. When I was close, I got it. But now I'm like, I'm not sure. I'm going to walk over it. I'm going to dig it. I'm going to try all different things. But this is okay. Good girl. What she's doing, she's working out. Go back in it. They didn't ask you. Okay, break. She's working out what I want and what I don't want by offering me different behaviours. So I'm not worried about that because I will just wait until she gives me what I want. Now, I think sometimes sessions can go on too long. We've done this has been quite a long session for her, I would say. I try to keep, when I'm teaching anything new, I try to keep it probably no more than a couple of minutes, most 5 minutes, and that would be my maximum. The reason being is they do go off the boil. And they start to overthink things. You get lots more mistakes coming in. And that's when you can become frustrated. So it's far better to keep things short, keep them successful, and then work over them over the course of a week or so to build them up. And when I'm playing with my trick games, I'd like to do sort of a minute on one trick and then a minute on another trick. I'd probably do 3 different tricks, do a minute on each. And I'd like to mix in 2 that are really new, so they're learning, and 1 that's they're quite familiar with, so they'll get easy success with. So that builds their confidence. I'll usually finish on the really positive one that they know really well, down, because that way they finish the session on a high. Okay, so we've looked at distance, sending there. What if you don't want them to sit in the bed, you want them to go down? Okay, break. So what we can do, break Swift, is we can go to the bed and we could obviously wait and see if they offered down. I don't think she will because the down is not necessarily default. So I'm going to ask her to do a down. Now I have it down in a verbal cue, but supposing so I can say down, down, and she go down. So I didn't have to go over there, but you might not. So can you, Swift, sit? Good girl. So if you didn't, and you wanted that to be a down in the bed rather than a sit, send them to it, and then you just could lure them, or you might have a hand signal for your down if you've already taught it. Now you're going to reward that position. That's the position we want. Good girl, Spark, over here. Okay, break. So now we'll see if she'll go over there, see what she'll do. It's going to take a couple of reps before she starts to think to herself, Sparky, sit down, before she starts thinking about offering the down. Oh, she did it, but the paws are out. To be fair to her, it's a small bed, but she actually offered the down. So I would keep doing that. If you want the down, you need to just keep building on it. Break, go back in the bed. You might want to do it a few times with a lure to get it, and then once you've got it, you can go, yes, that's what I want, reward heavily. And eventually you'll get the dog going to the bed and lying down without you having to say the word down. When I was teaching this to Merlin, I found that there was a period where he'd go to the bed and sit, and if I said down, he'd go down, but he wouldn't do it automatically. So I had to just wait a little bit before I said the down and just sort of waited. And as soon as I thought he looked like he might be thinking about going down, I'd offer him the cue down to reinforce that, and he'd start to do it. And I'd mix it up. So sometimes I'd send him to the mat and say down, then I'd send him and I'd wait and see if he would offer the down. And then the next time perhaps I'd give him the down to help reinforce it. That was him. But to be fair to Merlin, he has not done so much shaping, so he doesn't offer behaviours so well. So he needs to be helped a little bit more, because that's just the way, when I trained him, I didn't know so much about shaping. So that's just who he is. But with these guys, they will offer behaviours quite readily. Down, go down, down, good girl. And because I've got the verbal cues as well, it helps. So it's about playing and working out what works best for your dog. And obviously you reward what you like. The other thing you might get is, these beds are quite nice because they've got sides, but if you've got something flatter, and this is another one I had with Merlin, he actually started to lay beside it rather than on it, especially as we got further and further away. So you need to just watch that. And if you get to a stage where you've gone, I don't know, 5 meters and your dog suddenly starts going off the side, then it might be a case you need to go back closer and make sure they really know what is expected of them, the criteria, before you move back out again, so they get the idea. Because for some dogs, I think they get it in their head, I go near where the mat is and lay down, but they don't actually appreciate they have to lay down on the object. Obviously with a bed with sides, it's much easier for them because there's an obvious space to sit in. Yeah, is that good? I think you need a sleep. You look like you want to fall asleep in there. I hope you've enjoyed this video and hope it's given you some ideas of how to train this game. If you have, then you might like to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out our Facebook and Instagram page. I hope to see you all again very, very soon.